Child's pose, please. Bring your forehead down to the mat, hips down towards your heels. Try to make it the most comfortable child's pose it can be. You can spread the knees wider apart, bring them closer together. Hands can be out long in front of you or back by your hips, palms up. It's a resting pose, so try to let your body feel heavy on the mat. As you begin to focus on your breath, inhales in and out through your nose. You can begin to elongate that breath out, matching your inhale to your exhale, maybe even giving it a count. This breath, it's really the driving force behind your practice. We don't talk about it a whole bunch, but yoga actually has 8 different limbs, sort of like limbs on a tree, so they all stack on top of each other. Your practice here on your mat is your asana, that's one limb. And then the observation and regulation of the breath is the pranayama, it's another one. So the pranayama helps support that asana as you're moving throughout your practice and this yoga. So that's why we talk about it as being so important. In fact, if you wanted to stay on your mat in your child's pose, focused on your breath for an entire hour, you would be doing yoga just the same. So this breath never becomes choppy, or if you ever lose it, you can always come back down into this child's pose. It is a safe place, a home base. And just like your body might tell you to come down into your child's pose, your body might also tell you to do an adjustment. Maybe bring a knee down to the mat or an elbow to the knee. I'm never going to know exactly what this practice feels like in your body. Everything that I'm saying to you is a suggestion, and I would hope that you would listen to your body and what it's telling you as we move throughout the next 60 minutes. This is never something that you want to fight your way through. There should always be a bit of joy to your practice. And here at Yoga to the People, we believe that a breath that you can hear is a breath that you can feel. So we take these collective vibrational breaths all together, putting that energy out. These ha's and hms, they also help to release heat, they release tension, they can help you hold on to a posture just a little bit longer, or maybe still a little bit lower. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with one now. Begin to exhale the air out. Inhale in, a big breath in. And then exhale, H-A-ha. Sounds good. Your hands aren't already there. You can begin to walk them forward toward the front of your mat. Spider crawling your fingers so that the elbows, the wrists, maybe even the backs of the palms lift up off the mat. And then you can feel that stretch on both sides of your rib cage, so keeping the hips down and back. Maybe the forehead rolls in between your arms, just bringing a little bit more movement, waking the body up a little bit more. You can bring some weight into your hands. Bring yourself up into a tabletop position. So we're just going to start with some cat-cow breathing. So on your inhale, lift your chin, lift your tailbone, belly comes down closer to the mat for your cow pose. On your exhale, round the spine up toward the ceiling, pull the belly up and in. Try to tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, lift your chin, lift your tail. Exhale, round your spine. Just warming up the spine here in the first few moments of class. Maybe you've been sitting behind a computer all day. This is the first real time you're getting to move. So if that's the case, maybe you barrel roll the chest or snake the spine. You can also move the hips back and forth in space. Whatever would feel good here in these first few moments. on your next cat pose, round your ceiling or your back spine up toward the ceiling. Pull your belly up and in. Bring a little bit of weight into your hands. Begin to tuck the back toes under. And then just lift the knees up off the mat just an inch if you can. Try to pull the belly up and in here. You're still rounding the spine up toward the ceiling. A little bit of core work here to get started. So try to keep breathing. Don't hold on to the breath. Even as it's getting a little bit spicy, a little bit fiery here, keep breathing. You've got it for 3. You can do it for 2. 1, hips up and back. Come into your first down dog of class. Make it moving to start here. So bend into your body. See where you're feeling a little bit of stickiness. Where you're going to be sending the breath today. Yeah, you can bring both heels down to the mat. Get a good stretch. You can flip your dog if that's something in your practice. Lift one leg, then the other. Then we'll just clean it up. So the feet back behind you, you want your heels to reach down toward the mat. You want them to be about hips width distance apart. So maybe 6 to 10 inches apart. Belly pulls up and in, chest comes a little bit closer to the thighs, and then the hands out long in front of you. You want to spread them super wide. Your index finger should reach toward the front of the room, and really press down with this L shape that's created by your index finger and your thumb, but also bring every other finger pad down to the mat too. Maybe even curling the fingertips down toward the mat can help you press your hips up and back toward the back of the room. You want to drag the shoulder blades down the back and then around, just a general broadening of your back. On your inhale, lift your right leg halfway up, go for that extension first. And then inhale to lift it up higher, open it up on this side. So bend into the knee, move the ankle around, do some hip circles, spread the toes, whatever feels good. Try to move into each one of these joints. Just check in with it, see how it's feeling today. Get the joints a little bit lubricated. Inhale to lift the leg higher. Exhale to step it through in between your hands. Bring your back knee down to the mat and untuck your toes. And then just shift the hips back and forth. So just getting into your psoas, that front muscle that's on the front top of your hip. You can do that by bringing your momentum forward. If you want to bring the hips back over the knee and then flex the foot up toward the ceiling, that's for a half split. That's going to get all into your hamstring, begin to warm it up. Just move how your body needs you to move in these first moments. If you're going for that half split, really flex the foot up toward the ceiling. Try to straighten out the leg. Then breathe into the hamstring. One more inhale to bring the weight forward. And then exhale, bring your right leg back. Come into an upper push-up plank. Just going to build a little bit of heat here, so stack the shoulders over the elbows and wrists. You want to have your hips on that diagonal down towards your heels. One more inhale, press your mat away. Exhale, hips up and back into your down dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg halfway up. Reach it toward the back of the room for extension first. It's almost like you're trying to, the hip is trying to eject that leg out toward the back of the room. And then inhale to lift it up higher, open it up on this side, so bend into the knee, do some hip circles, whatever feels good. It can be something that you did on the other side or something that you didn't do. Sometimes the body craves different things on each side. And inhale to lift it up higher. Exhale to step it through in between your hands. Bring your back knee down, untuck the toes, and that same shifting of the hips back and forth. Just get into the pelvis a little bit. Try to stretch out that front psoas this time on your right side as you bring your momentum forward. And you can also play around with that half split, maybe a full split if you've got it in your practice. If you're going for that half split, try to bring the hips over the knee so you've got some real stability there. And then reach the crown of your head forward toward the front of the room. One more inhale to bring that momentum forward, get into that front hip. And then exhale, bring that left leg back, come into your upper push-up plank. Not gonna be here long, just building a little bit of heat. So keep breathing. Pull the belly up and in. Lift the heels up toward the ceiling. Inhale to press your mat away. Exhale, hips up and back into your down dog. And soften your knees, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Hang heavy in this forward fold when you get there. So you can sway back and forth, reach for opposite elbow, anything that feels good here. Bend into the knees a whole bunch. You want to check the feet, make sure they're hips width distance. On your inhale, come into your half lift, so long, flat back. Reach the crown of your head forward, pull the belly up and in. Inhale for length. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, come up into your mountain pose, so biceps frame your ears. You're just standing here with a bit of intention. You can play around with the balance a little bit, shifting the hips back and forth, trying to find that center. When you do, begin to press the big toe, the pinky toe, and the back of the heel down into the mat. Spiral your inner thighs in toward the center, and then sort of roll onto the outside edges of your feet so that the arches come up off the mat. Then you can pull the quads up. Tuck the tailbone slightly, pull the belly up and in. Shoulders relax down the back. Maybe you close your eyes here for a moment just to clear out your head, your brain. And then flutter your eyes open. On your inhale, lift your heels up off your mat. Come into a tiptoe position. Just playing a little bit with balance here and a little bit of getting into the calves. Try to keep the rest of the body super active like it was. On your inhale, maybe you reach up a little bit higher. On your exhale, drop your heels down toward the mat, forward fold. Inhale for your half lift, long flat back. Exhale, hands down to the mat, step back, upper push-up plank, pause here. So we've been here a couple times. You should have the shape pretty well memorized in your body, your muscle memory. So on your inhale, press your mat away. On your exhale, lower down halfway, but keep the elbows in toward the ribs. On the inhale, untuck the toes, bring the heart through. Press everything else against the mat so that the body lifts up. And on your exhale, hips up and back into your down dog. That's our flow. We're going to take it throughout class. It's sort of the connective tissue as we move throughout these 60 minutes. So soften your knees, walk or hop to the front of the mat. Bring your feet to that hips width distance, and on your inhale, half lift. On your exhale, forward fold. Inhale up into your mountain. If you want to play with that balance like you did before, you can lift your heels up off the mat, coming into a tiptoe, but there's never an obligation. Inhale for your half lift. Exhale, hands down to the mat, step back and go through a flow. When you're back in your down dog, keep moving. Take that modified sun salutation 3 more times on your own breath. So inhaling to move, exhaling to move. That half lift, mountain, half lift flow. If you want to, like we said, keep the heels raising up in there, you can do so, but do what feels right in your own body. And just keep moving to your own breath. So letting the breath drive your practice here. However fast or slow you're breathing, that's however fast or slow you're moving. You can always slow it down if you want to, or speed it up. It's your practice, it's your motions, your movements, your asana. And if you're flowing, just keep flowing. If you're back in your down dog, keep it active. Pull up on the quads, pull the belly up and in. Use the contact of your hands in the mat to press the hips up and back. And if it's available to you, begin to exhale your air out. Inhale in a big breath. And then exhale to let it go. On your inhale, lift your right leg up and back. On your exhale, step it through in between your hands. Bring your back knee down to the mat again, and then just inhale the right arm up for a simple twist. So try to keep your hips in one line here. Try to stack that front knee over the front ankle. Maybe you push the mat away for just a little bit of length as you reach that right hand up toward the ceiling. One more inhale. Exhale, bring both hands down. Tuck your back toes under and then come up into your warrior one. So biceps frame your ears. So use the left edge side of your left foot, that pinky edge side, to press it down into the mat to try to drive that left hip a little bit more forward while the right hip pulls back in space. Try to stack that front knee over the front ankle. Shoulders relax down the back. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step back and go through a flow. On your next inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Bring that back knee down again, untuck the toes, seal that right hand down to the mat, and then lift the left arm up for a simple twist here. Try to open up your chest to the left side of the room. Trying to stack your shoulders in one line. Maybe if you think your left hand is as far up as it can be, you just reach it a little bit farther. One more inhale. Exhale, both hands down, untuck the toes, seal the heel down to the mat, and inhale up into your warrior one. So maybe check and see that you can see your big toe peeking out in front of your knee. You want to make sure that you can at least see that big toenail. You're gonna know that you're stacking that front knee over the front ankle. The right hip drives forward in space now. The left hip tries to pull back. And the belly pulls up and in. On your inhale, reach up, reach back. On your exhale, hands down to the mat, step back, and go through flow. When you're back and down dog, just take it one breath, one movement. That twist into your warrior one. If you want to keep the back knee lifted off the ground, you can do that too, but it's really up to you. Keep that focus on the breath. Trying to keep yourself present here in your practice. Letting go of any judgments that you might be feeling about your body today, or your movements, or your practice. Your only job is to move and breathe. Soften your knees, walk her out to the front of the mat. Hang heavy in your forward fold when you get there. So you can separate your feet a little bit wider apart if that's a little bit more comfortable for you. Bend your left knee a whole bunch. Bring your left hand down in front of your face. Lift your right arm up toward the ceiling. And try to reach the crown of your head forward here so that you get a long spine as you lift that right arm up toward the ceiling. And you really want to press this outer edge of your right hip toward the right side wall. Maybe you can feel a stretch of that IT band. One more inhale to reach. Exhale, forward fold. Opposite side this time, so bend really deeply into your right knee. Bring your right hand down, left arm up toward the ceiling. Try to stack your shoulders in one line. Really drop that right hip down in space. It's going to give you a little bit more extra room to press that left hip out toward the left side wall. One more inhale to reach. Exhale, hands down. On your inhale, come into your half lift, long flat back, reset the spine. On your exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, hips down, arms up, chair pose. Sit your hips down and back, bring the weight to your heels. You want to reach your hands forward toward where the front wall and the ceiling meet in front of you. And activate that core so that you can bring the chest a little bit further through the shoulders. Try to relax the shoulders down the back. Most importantly, keep breathing. You've got it for 3. You can do it for 2. 1, forward fold. Inhale for your half lift, long flat back. Exhale, hands down to the mat, step back and go through a flow. On your next inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Pivot your back heel down to the mat. Inhale up into your warrior 1. This time, exhale, open warrior 2. So right arm forward, left arm back. You want to tuck the tailbone underneath you here, especially that right sit bone, and then spread the fingers wide as you're reaching toward each side of the room. You're reaching through your triceps here, those strong muscles on the under arm of your body. So try to let the shoulders relax down your back. Maybe check in on your front knee. Make sure it's not bowing in toward that left side. If it is, you can bring a little bit more weight to the pinky edge side of your mat. Or you can just let this left hip roll forward in space, maybe even just a centimeter. That might be all it needs for your knee to drive forward again. 1 more inhale to reach. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back. through in between your hands. Pivot your back heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. So tailbone tucks down underneath you. Drive that left knee forward toward the front of the room now. Straighten the back leg really strong. Activate the core muscles. Bring this lower sternum down and into all of these core muscles. Your abdominal wall really lights up. Inhale, reach wide, spread your fingers. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back, go through a flow. And you're backing down dog. Keep moving. Take it one breath, one movement. Warrior one, warrior two on your right. Warrior one, warrior two on your left. Connected by your flow. Moving with your own breath. Trying to keep your mind present here in your body. You can do that by really focusing on the inhale and the exhale. We'll meet back in a down dog. There's no hurry to get there. We're all moving at different rates here with the breath driving our movements. So if you're flowing, just keep flowing. If you're backing down dog, lift those hips up and back. Pull that belly up and in. Try to bring the heels, let them melt down toward the mat. And if it's available to you, let's take a breath all together. Begin to exhale the air out. Inhale in, a big breath, fill it up. And exhale, let it go. Sounds so good. Soften your knees, walk or hop to the front of the mat. Hang heavy here, forward fold. If you've got super long hair like Carly, sometimes you have to fix it, even though we would like you to try to leave yourself alone as you are moving throughout your practice. Things happen. Check in with the feet. You want them to be that hips width distance. 2 fists down in between your inner arches. Inhale, half lift, long flat back. Exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, hips down, arms up, chair pose, second set, come into it. Pull your belly up and in. Those shoulders relax down your back. Try not to hold any tension where you don't need it. Don't waste the energy there. Try to sit those hips down and back while you're bringing the weight into the heels. If the toes begin to lift up, just gently place them back down. And keep breathing, don't lose the breath. One more inhale, sit a little bit lower. Yes, exhale, forward fold. Take your 2 peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. So if you have to bend your knees a whole bunch to get here, you can do that. And then try to top it off with your thumbs at the top of your toe. As the hamstrings begin to warm up, maybe you can begin to straighten into the legs a little bit. If your hamstrings are already warm, you want to lift your sit bones up toward the ceiling and shift the weight forward into the toes. You can also play around with sealing your chest onto your thighs and then seeing how much you can straighten your legs. You've got options here. One more inhale, maybe pull yourself a little bit deeper. And then let it go. On your next inhale, hips down, arms up, chair pose, last set, come into it. Sit those hips down and back, try to bring the knees over the ankles. Relax the shoulders down the back, maybe loosen up the jaw, loosen up the forehead. And you've got this, your body is so much stronger than your mind can give it credit for. You can hold this for so much longer than you actually think you can. One more inhale, sit a little bit lower. Exhale, forward fold, awesome. Inhale for that half lift, long flat back. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step back and go through your flow. Let's take a breath all together. We're going to exhale it out. Inhale in, a big breath. And then exhale, let it go. Sounds super good. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Pivot your back heel down to the mat. Inhale, up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. So when you get here, get set up in the pose. If you need to move your feet around a little bit to widen your stance, that's totally normal. Flip your front palm up toward the ceiling. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale to reach up, 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 and a little bit back. Reverse your warrior. So try not to let that right shoulder blade come up too much into the neck to create tension. Try to relax it down the back. Hold the belly up and in. Maybe checking with that front knee, make sure it's not bowing in. On your next inhale, reach up, reach back. And on your exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back, go through a flow. Next inhale, left leg comes up and back. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Pivot the back heel down. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, open, warrior two. Tuck that tailbone underneath you. Relax the shoulders down the back. Reach strong with those triceps. Flip the front palm up toward the ceiling. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale to reach up, 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 and a little bit back. Reverse your warrior. Yeah, check in with that front knee. Know where it is in space. Straighten that back leg strong. Tuck the left sit bone underneath you. Then reach that hand really tall up toward the ceiling. And then inhale to reach back. On your exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back. Go through a flow. When you get back to down dog, take it one breath, one movement. Warrior one, warrior two, reverse. On your right and your left. This is our longest one breath, one movement of class. Your time with these asanas, these postures, seeing how they feel in your body, getting to know them a little bit better. Don't worry about all the alignment cues. Just try to flow and move with your body. Each time you come to your mat, any one of these postures, these asanas can feel different than it did even a day before. Just go with it. If you're flowing, keep flowing. If you're backing down dog, it's available to you. Begin to exhale the air out. Inhale in a big breath. And then exhale, H-A. Sounds super good. You're going to walk your hands back towards your feet so that you're in a forward fold at the back of your mat. And then bend your knees slightly, roll up one vertebrae at a time. You're going to walk the feet a little bit closer together. On your inhale, raise your arms up toward the ceiling. Interlace the fingers, let the index finger reach up toward the ceiling. And then grip your skull in between your biceps. On your inhale, reach up toward the ceiling. On your exhale, bend over to your right. Try to bump your left hip out toward the left side wall. Keep breathing. Try to keep the shoulders squared up. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Re-grip your head. On your inhale, reach up again. This time on your exhale, bend over to the left side. Bump that right hip out toward the right side of the room. Try to breathe into all of these intercostal muscles that separate each rib bone. Try to fan them out. One more inhale to reach. Exhale, come back to center. Keep the feet together. On your inhale, reach up. On your exhale, sit your hips down and back. Come into your thunderbolt pose. So belly pulls up in here, hips sit down and back. And notice if your shoulder blades are really coming up towards your ears, try to relax them down the back. Maybe you move the hands down in space. That might be all you need to get those shoulders to let go. One more inhale, sit a little bit lower. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands down to the mat. Begin to walk them back into a down dog. You can separate your feet here and then bring your knees down to the mat. Take some cat-cows. So inhale to lift the chin, exhale, round the spine. And come into a neutral tabletop. On your inhale, lift your right arm forward, left leg back. And go for length first here. So press down into that left hand, push your mat away, that right foot, press it down into the mat. And then begin to lift the left leg, lift the right arm up in space. And begin to bend the left knee behind you, reach back for your left foot. Try to grab it from the pinky edge side. Once you've got it, you can begin to kick the foot into the palm of your hand. And try to bring the chest through here, maybe even look forward toward the front of the room. It's almost like you're trying to shimmy that shin up the wall behind you. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale to reach. Exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, opposite side, so left arm forward, right leg back. First, stabilize the pose, so press down into that right hand, press the left foot where you would tie your shoelaces down into the mat. Then inhale to begin to raise that left arm, right leg up, bend the right knee, reach back to that pinky edge side. You can also grab yourself by the ankle if that's a little bit easier for you, and then begin to kick the palm into the palm of your hand. Try to keep the shoulders squared off, so try to bring the chest through a little bit. Try to keep the head on square. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Strong movement. Inhale to reach. Exhale to let it go. Couple more cat-cows here. When you're ready, just tuck your toes under, come back up into your down dog. Maybe bend into the knees a little bit. And soften your knees, walk or hop to the front of the mat. Hang heavy here in your forward fold when you get here. Begin to walk the feet together, toes touch, heels touch, thighs touch. Inhale for that half lift. Straighten out the spine. Exhale to release. And one more, hips down, arms up. Thunderbolt, bring the palms of your hands together. Cross the thumbs over, that's gonna help you to seal that pinky edge side. Pull the belly up and in here. Keep breathing. Where are you holding on to tension that you don't need it? Try to let it go. You've got it for 3. Sit a little bit lower for 2. 1. Go ahead and stand up straight. You can bring your arms down. Maybe just let them flail a little bit, let the blood rush back into them, bend into the knees. Before we really wind down, we're just gonna do a little bit of balancing. So we're gonna take a tree pose. So wherever your balance feels good, that's where you can stay. So you can lift your right leg up a little bit. If you want to, you can just bring the arch of your foot into your ankle. If this is enough for you, you can stay here. And walk the hands to heart center. If you want to go for a little bit more, you can also bring the arch of the foot onto the calf. Or if you want to go for a lot more, you can bring the arch of the foot into the inner thigh. You want to press these 2 things together. So thigh into foot, foot into thigh, and then pull up on your quad, on your standing leg, press down into the big toe. So just a little tree pose here. If you feel steady and sturdy, you can stay here. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit further, you can begin to grow your tree up toward the ceiling, letting the shoulders relax down the back, trying to embrace the stillness of your tree. So try to look out at something in front of you that's not moving. And just keep breathing. It's balancing, right? So it can be fickle, it can be different every day. Sometimes I know I'm super good, and then the next day I can't even stay on 2 feet. So just have a little bit of patience with yourself. If you do want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can begin to look up toward the ceiling. Ultimate challenge is to close your eyes. 1 more inhale. Exhale, let the legs slide down, both feet on the mat. Maybe bend into the knees a little bit. Then begin to lift your left leg up. So same process we did before. See where it feels the most sturdy and where you have your balance. So bring your hands to heart center. You can go for the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. Make sure you're using this leverage if you are going for the inner thigh. Press the big toe down into the mat. Pull up on your standing quad. There you go. That's going to bring some stability to your tree pose. Once you've got it here and you feel good, you can stay here if you want. This feels good. You're challenged. Stay here. If you want to begin to grow your branches up toward the ceiling, you can do so. Try to embrace the stillness. Try to look out at something that's not moving. Couple of deep breaths. If you want to challenge the balance a little bit further, you can look up toward the ceiling. Keep the quad engaged, keep the big toe pressing down into the mat. 1 more inhale. Exhale, let that left leg just slide down the right. On your inhale, reach your hands up toward the ceiling. Maybe give yourself a back bend, reach up, reach back. On your exhale, forward fold. On your inhale, half lift. On your exhale, bring your hands down to the mat, step back, go through your flow. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Bend your knee, open up that front hip, and then bring it through for half pigeon. So bring the right knee behind the wrist, pointed toward the right side of the room. Right foot comes over to the left side of your mat. Try to come up onto your fingertips here. Give yourself that long spine, then begin to bring the forehead down to the mat. So you can bring your forehead down to maybe your fist. You can build a little pillow or the forearms. We've got a towel or a piece of clothing. Just try to rest your head on something so that you can let go of any tension in the neck. You actually want to try to melt yourself into the mat. So notice if you're holding on to tension anywhere else. Usually a big place that we do it is our shoulders. We try to hold ourselves up in this pose. Try to relax the shoulders so that you can melt into the mat. And you really want to focus on the breath here. You want to stay in this moment. That's one of the biggest challenges of this half pigeon. Sitting with this stillness, with this silence, and embracing it, especially when you might be feeling a lot of sensation in that hip. It's totally normal. Deep belly breaths are actually going to help you to balloon into that right hip to create a little bit more space. This is a big hip opener. It can bring up some feelings. So if it's bringing up anything, just try to breathe it through. Begin to exhale your air out. Inhaling a big breath in. And then exhale, H-A. Inhale, big breath in again. And then exhale, H-M. 2 or 3 more deep belly breaths. And then begin to get yourself out of it. So tuck the back toes under, bring some weight into the hands, lift the chest up. Begin to bring that right foot back. And you can go through a flow if you want to. You can also go straight back to a down dog, totally up to you. On your next inhale, left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open up that hip, and then bring it through. So point that left knee toward or behind your left wrist, pointed toward the left side of the room. Right leg is long behind you. Inhale, reach the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. Exhale, and begin to bring your forehead down to the mat. And just like you did on the other side, focus on the breath. Maybe this side feels different. Obviously, both sides can feel different, depending on how we walk or carry our weight. So if this side is a little bit more intense, maybe you do a little mantra to yourself. Now I inhale, now I exhale. And if the mind is trying to throw some thoughts at you to distract, just try not to think critically about any one of them. Just go back to the breath. Begin to exhale all the air out. Inhale a big breath in. Exhale, H-A. Inhale, fill the lungs again. And then exhale, H-M. Sounds really good. Couple more deep breaths. And as you feel ready, begin to get yourself out of it. You can go through the final flow of class, or just meet us back in a down dog. When you're there, bend into your knees a whole bunch. Then bring yourself into an upper push-up plank. Inhale to press your mat away. Exhale, lower down slowly toward the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your chin out long in front of you. Keep your hands where they are. Try to bring your elbows up toward the ceiling. So walk the hands a little bit behind the shoulders. And then press the feet down into the mat as you lift the chest up for your cobra pose. So even though your hands are making contact with the mat, try not to use the hands or the strength of your arms to pull your chest up off the mat. Try to use the strong muscles alongside of your spine. You can even activate the core a little bit. Press the back feet into the mat. Maybe you look up toward the ceiling, body follows the eye. On your exhale, let it go. Bring your left ear down to the mat, look right. Bring the hands back by your hips, palms up. And some deep belly breaths here. Especially this little series can get the heart beating a whole bunch, so those deep belly breaths can help to slow it down. Bring your chin out long in front of you again. This time just flip the palms over behind you so they're either making contact with your mat or the floor. If the feet separated, bring them back together. On your exhale, press your hips down into the mat. On your inhale, arms up, legs up this time, chin up, chest up, come into your locust pose. So now the weight of your arms is back behind you. That can be used to help bring one more rib up off the mat. And then if the feet separated, try to bring them back together. Usually spiraling those inner thighs in toward the center can do it. You want to come onto that fleshy part of your tummy. Inhale to look up, body follows the eye. Exhale, let it go, opposite ear down to the mat. Deep belly breaths here. And begin to walk the hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up so that you're in that tabletop that we were in earlier. So stack your knees over, your hips over your knees. Your shoulders over your wrists and elbows. On your inhale, lift your right arm up toward the ceiling. On your exhale, thread it through underneath your body. Try to bring that right ear down to the mat. Try to keep the hips stacked over the knees. Exactly right, Carly. If you want to walk that left hand forward, you can do that. You can also wrap it behind the back to reach for your right hip crease. Totally up to you. Just getting a good shoulder stretch here. Keep breathing. You did walk that left hand out, begin to walk it back underneath you. Begin to bring some weight into it as you lift the right arm back up toward the ceiling. Open yourself up. And then exhale, bring it down to the mat. On your next inhale, left arm up toward the ceiling. And then thread it underneath the body. Bring the left ear down to the mat. And bring your right arm where it feels most comfortable. So you can leave it where it is, you can walk it out in front of you, or you can left shoulder. Let it relax and begin to stretch out. One more inhale. You're going to walk that right hand back in and reach your left arm up toward the ceiling. And then exhale to bring it down to the mat. Then just bring your hips on top of your heels for a moment. Come into a kneeling position. Long spine here. Close the eyes for just a second. You can bring your hands to your thighs, heart center, third eye, between your eyebrows, whatever is speaking to you right now. And just some deep belly breaths. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, dedicating an hour to your practice. The more you can come to your mat, the more you can feel the breath in your body, feel that self-connectedness. You can de-stress a little bit, clear your mind, give yourself a little bit of self-care. Begin to flutter the eyes open. Bring your hips off to the side, bring your legs out long in front of you. And then bring yourself to the middle of your mat. You want to go for a little bit of core work before we end up here. So a modified boat pose. So you can lift your shins up in space so that they're parallel with the mat. You can always bring the toes down to the mat too if that's a little bit more sustainable, or you can straighten out the legs. That has a lot to do with how warmed up your hamstrings are. You want the arms on either side of your legs. Lift the chest up toward the ceiling. We're just going to hold this boat pose for 10, 9, 8, 7. Everybody knows how much I love core. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Begin to slowly lower 1 down toward your mat. And maybe you bring the hands up over your head, stretch out that core wall. You can bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a big hug. Maybe rolling side to side, or back and forth, whichever calls to you. Bring the soles of your feet together for a little bit of a bound butterfly. Splay the knees out open wide. Try to keep the back of the head sealed down to the mat. Maybe you exert a little pressure to bring those heels over the pelvis, or maybe even up over the rib cage. Either one's better, it's just a different stretch. And then open it up for happy baby. Stack your knees, so your ankles over your knees. Bring your knees wider than your torso. You can roll side to side, back and forth. Straighten one leg, then another. Maybe a flutter of the lips. Lion's breath, where you open your eyes wide, put your tongue out. Anything that would feel good. You've got these last few moments. And just begin to bring yourself down into your final Shavasana. Let your feet splay out open wide. Let your fingers curl up toward the ceiling. Sometimes bringing the shoulder blades together underneath you can open up the chest and feel really good. Thank you so much for coming to this class today, for practicing with us at Yoga to the People. We so appreciate you being a part of our community. And if you're in a position to donate, we would absolutely appreciate it. Your donations keep this donation-based yoga available and accessible to those who need it. So you can donate at on Venmo at YTPAZ, or our Square link is also on our YouTube page. Anything you can give, super appreciated. We end each class with a quote and a ringing of the singing bowl. After that class is over, but try to keep yourself on your mat for at least a few minutes. Let the practice soak in. Today's quote comes from Shel Silverstein. He said, "There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside." One last time, exhale the air. Inhale a big breath in.